Hey guys, Ryan here for Bender Wins. Today I want to do a quick recap of this past weekend for our NFL football. Overall for the weekend, guys, we had a number of bigger plays, including two different 3-unit plays, guys, and we ended up losing both those 3-unit plays. Want to discuss because one of the questions, and I'll tell you straight up, our first 3-unit play was on Carolina. And people come out and say, well, like, how could you bet Carolina? They got absolutely blown out. A couple things I want to show you quickly. I apologize for the quality of this image. Just snap this off my computer quickly. This is one of the systems that was at play. There was a number of systems, okay? Now, this system is a week 1 system. It is hit at over 80%, and it was 18-1 over its last 19 plays. Now, you can see here, if you look in this column, win, push, win, 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 win. There was the one loss, then win, 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 win. Like, it's done nothing but win. Look, I mean, if you go back to last year, look, it went 3-0 to start the year last year, and then you got Carolina. Where are we? Carolina up there, it lost, okay? So this particular system, although there was a number of systems on there, obviously the best one, hitting over 80%, only covers week 1, and it really focuses on the fact that we have teams that are having a very poor public perception versus, teams that made the playoffs, good perception. And if you look at the first couple weeks of football, in terms of covering the spread, teams that made the playoffs last year facing teams that didn't make the playoffs, those teams that didn't make the playoffs cover the spread an awful lot, okay? And that is simply due to the public perception, and that is what we want to take advantage of, where the public misperceives a certain amount of value. Now, in this case, they got the ever-loving shit kicked out of them. Does it mean I wouldn't go back and bet that again? Absolutely not. I would bet that 50 times, 100 times, 1,000 times every single day. Now, we look at the other aspect of it. We got that game at +5. Okay, we bet it early at +5. That line closed at 3.5. We beat the closing line in NFL by 1.5, okay? Now, we did come out over a week ago and bet that game, and we dropped that line like within a day. We dropped it from 5 down to 4, and then it went to 3.5. So I think it would be unfair to come out and say that, yeah, you know what, like that line moved because of other action, other sharps, 1.5. We definitely moved that a full point. But then after us moving that full point, there was still more sharp money to come in to move it, guys. And if you look at that, if you look at the money distribution, it was a reverse line move, okay? You were seeing a lot of money coming in on the other side, okay? And Vegas was still decreasing that line, which means they knew what the right side was. And again, disappointing, okay? Now, more commentary of that game and the other 3-unit play. Look, I come out time and time again, I talk about how in the NFL, we are going to bet ugly. Okay, there is no way around it, because if you're not betting ugly in the NFL, you are going to lose straight up. Okay, you cannot go out and you can't bet these public favorites, and you can't bet really attractive teams. And if you use the old eye chart, okay, you don't look at any numbers, any stats, you look at the eye chart and you think, oh, wow, look, this team absolutely dominates, and this team's, only a 3.5-point dog. Like, absolutely, this team's going to win, right? And then lo and behold, they win by a field goal, and you scratch your head and say, how did I lose? And NFL is fixed and all that stuff. Look, there's a lot that goes into NFL. Probably next to baseball, the one sport that requires the most amount of concentration, effort, and data mining and systems to win at. So we've been very, very successful in NFL since Masterclass started. Last year and the year before, our best sport. Last year, we went 13 weeks before we had a losing week. But obviously kicking off with a week 1 loss this year, disappointing. But at the end of the day, look, if you're going to follow me this year and you're going to follow NFL, I'm going to give you out some plays or some real head scratchers. Okay, you asked people from last year, look, we had a game, we had Jets, like 11-point dog, took them straight up to win. Okay, people saying there's no chance. 0 chance they're going to win, okay? A couple years ago, Houston, almost a 2-touchdown underdog, came out in a video and said they win that football game. What'd they do? They won the football game, okay? You have to be betting ugly throughout the course of the season, and I will. And when we lose, and especially games we get blown out, people are going to scratch their head and they're going to say, how on earth could you ever given us that play? Well, I think I showed a good example early on, guys. The public perception gives you value. I have a system that I've relied on year in and year out that's hitting over 80%. Well, now it's down to exactly 80% or 79.8 or whatever. But that being said, guys, I will go back to that next year again. And if next year, if they have a system that pops up or a game that pops up on that system, and I like the game and I think there's value and I think the line is mispriced, because I don't just blindly throw money at systems, okay? They're there to guide me in the right direction. They're there to reaffirm that my data is correct. And look, I like that line. I thought at 5, what a terrific amount of value. Didn't work out that way. They got blown out, okay? So disappointing, but look, we're going to be betting ugly. And if you're going to be along for the journey, guys, buckle up, because I send out plays, especially to newer people. And people like email me before the game saying, really, you're going to do this? You're going to take this team? I say, just hold on and wait for the whole season, okay? Anyone did last year, guys, you saw exactly what we did. So anyways, guys, in recap overall, we don't have many 3-unit plays. Having lost both of those, we're 2 wins and 3 losses on our 3-unit plays now. Certainly not where we want to be. We were 2-1 going into this. Our 2-unit plays, 95 wins, 43 losses, good for 69%, which continues to be phenomenal. So that's it, okay? I wanted to come out, wanted to talk about this weekend, specifically discuss, the 3-unit play in Carolina. Look, they lost 47-10. 47-10. Will I be back on them next weekend? Maybe. Because look, at the end of the day, public perception in the NFL plays such a huge role in shaping the lines and understanding where the value is, guys. It's not like a fluke that last year it took 13 weeks before we had a losing week, okay? It's not a fluke that year in and year out I win at NFL. It's not a fluke. It's not a coincidence. It's not like, flipping a magical coin. It's not the sports almanac. It's understanding the concepts it takes for Vegas to create lines, understanding how the public finds ways to absolutely burn themselves year in and year out, using systems that are rare like this, that don't come up very often. 80%, over 80%, 18-1 over the last 19 plays. Unfortunately, couldn't convert that to wins, guys. But look, BetterWins.com, if you're interested in joining, we are going to have some ugly looking plays on the surface in football this year, guys. But over the long term, those plays pay a lot of money. I wish you guys the best of luck, and we'll see you soon.